maintain the kind of American leadership that we need.
Let me interject the second topic question in this segment about the Middle East and so on. The war in Syria has now spilled over into Lebanon. We have, more than 100 people that were killed there in a bomb. There were demonstrations there, 8 people dead, 30,000 Syrians have died. We've had 300,000 refugees. The war goes on. He's still there. Should we reassess our policy and see if we can find a better way to influence events there, or is that even possible? And just ask you, would you go beyond what the administration would do? Like, for example, would you, do you have any regrets about that?
No, I don't.
Well, let's step back and talk about what's happening and how important it is. First
what
of
we've
all,
done is organize the international community.
Their government
we've mobilized
is a
sanctions
humanitarian
against
disaster.
That government.
Secondly,
we have
Syria
made
is an
sure
opportunity
that they
for
are
us
isolated.
because Syria plays
so
an important
everything
role
we're
in the Middle
doing,
East,
we're
particularly
doing
right
in
now.
consultation
Syria
with our
is
partners in the region,
Iran's
other
only
countries in the
ally
region
in the
that have
Arab
great
world.
interest in this.
It's their route to the sea. It's the route for
what
them
we're seeing
to
taking
arm
place is
Hezbollah
heartbreaking.
in Lebanon, which
And that's
threatens,
why
of
we
course,
are going to do
our ally.
everything we can
And so
to make
seeing
sure that we
Syria
are helping
is a
the
very high
opposition.
priority for us.
We also have to
Number two,
recognize
responsible
that,
people is critical for us.
For us to get
and finally,
more
we don't have
entangled
military involvement
militarily
there. We
is
don't get
a
drawn
serious
into a
step.
military conflict.
And we have to do
and so the right course for us
making
is working
absolutely
through our
certain that we know
partners and
who
with
we
our
are
own
helping.
resources to
We are
identify
putting arms
responsible
in the
parties,
hands of folks
organize
who
them,
eventually
bring them
could turn
together
them
in
against us
a
or
form
allies in the
of,
region.
not government, a form of arms
I am
necessary to
confident
defend
we are
themselves.
helping. What we
do need to
can't
make
do
sure
is
that
to
they don't
simply
have arms
suggest
that get into
that
the
giving
wrong
heavy
hands,
weapons, for example,
that those
is a
arms could
simple
be used to hurt
proposition
us
that
down
would
the
lead
road.
us to be
We need to
safer
make sure
over
as
the
well
long
that we
term.
coordinate
We
this
are
effort with our allies,
mobilizing,
and
and we
particularly
are making
with
sure that
Israel.
those we
But
help
the Saudis
are those
and the
who will
Qatari
be friends
and
of
the
ours in the
Turks
long term
we need to
and
have
friends of
a
our
very
allies in the region
effective
over the long
leadership
term.
effort
But
in Syria,
this is an example
making sure
of
that the
how we make
insurgents
choices.
are armed and that the insurgents
And
that
we were
become
able to
armed
immediately
are people
stop
who
the
will be the
massacre
responsible parties.
because of the unique
Recognize,
circumstances
but I believe
and the
we want to make
coalition
sure
that
that
we
we
have
have
to
the
organize.
relationships of
We also
friendship
have to
with
make
the
sure
people
that
that take
you
its
support
place
us
in the
going
years
into
to come.
Libya and the
We
coalition
see
that we
responsible
organize.
party in the Middle East.
But
This is
your
a
suggestion
critical opportunity
was
for
that,
America, and what I'm
this was
afraid of
mission
is in the
creep.
past year or so,
That this was mission
first
mob.
we'll let the UN deal with it.
Imagine if we had pulled
Excuse
out
me,
at that
Kofi
point.
Annan came in and said,
And
we're
so
going to
we were
try
going to
to
make sure that we finished the job. That's
Then it
part of
went to
the
the
reason why
Russians
the
and
Libyans
said,
stand with
let's
us.
see if you can do something.
But we did
We
so
should be playing
in
the
a
leadership
careful,
role
thoughtful
there,
way,
not on the ground with military.
making certain that
By
we
the
knew
leadership
who we
role.
were dealing with playing the leadership role. That
I don't want to have our
those
military
forces
involved
of moderation
in Syria.
on the ground
I
were
don't
ones
think
that
there's
we could work
a
with.
necessity to put our military
And we have
in
to take
Syria
the same
and to
kind of
have in
steady,
place a
thoughtful
new
leadership.
government which is friendly to us, a responsible government if possible.
I'll be very quick. What you just heard Governor Romney said is he doesn't have different ideas. And that's because we're doing exactly what we should be doing to
And I
try
want
to
to make sure
promote
they get armed. And they have the arms necessary to defend themselves, but also but look, it's been going on for years.
Transition so that
This
we
is
get
time.
us out.
This
That's the kind of
should have been
leadership
a
we've
time
shown.
for
That's the
American
kind of
leadership.
leadership we'll
We
continue
should
to
have
show.
taken a
May
leading
I ask
role,
you,
not militarily, but a leading role
during the Egyptian
governmentally,
turmoil,
to bring
there came
together
a point when you said it was time for President Mubarak
As you hear from
to go.
intelligence sources even today,
Some in your administration thought
the
perhaps
insurgents
we
are
should have
highly
waited a while
disparate.
on that.
They haven't come
Because
together.
I think
They haven't
that
formed
America
a
has
unity
to stand
group,
with
a council
democracy.
of some kind.
The notion
that
that we
needs to
would
happen.
have
America can help that happen.
tanks
And we need to make
run
sure
over
they have
those
the
young
arms they
people
need
who were in Tahrir
to
Square.
carry out the very
is not the kind of
important role,
American
which is to
leadership
get rid of Assad.
that John F. Kennedy talked about 50
as
years
the
ago.
president indicated and said at the
I've
time
also
that I
said
supported
is that
his action there. I felt
now that you have a
I wish we'd
democratically
have
elected
had a better
government in
vision
Egypt,
of the future. I wish
they
that
have to make
looking
sure that
back
they
at the beginning
take
of the president's
responsibility
term and even further back than that we'd have
protecting
recognized
religious minorities.
that there was a
And we have put
growing energy and
significant pressure
passion
on them
for
to make sure
freedom
they're doing
in
it.
that part of the world,
To
and that we would have worked more
recognize the rights
aggressively
of
with
women,
our
which is
friend and with
critical
other
throughout
friends in
the
the
region.
region to have
These
them make the
countries can't
transition
develop.
towards a
Young
more
women are
representative
not
form of
given the
government
kind of
such that it
education
didn't
that they need.
explode in the way it did.
Because this is an example of how we make choices.